Greetings! Greetings, Tube of Views. How are we all doing? Hopefully you can all hear me. And yes, here we are with yet another Retro Recollections. Superb, super. Wow, we've got plenty. Yep, can hear you. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Pete. Now then, as always, we have a guest, and what I would like to do is I shall bring him on in a second. And now, please be gentle. It's not his fault. He's American. He's, you know, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll give him the chance. And we shall get a different view from across the pond, so we can find out exactly how it went for him during our times as well. So I shall, without further ado, bring him on. So please, everybody, welcome Manshovel. There he is on camera. Hello, Manshovel. How you doing, buddy? Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Right. It does. It does. Right. People are saying they can't. People are saying they can't hear you. So just give me a second.
All right.
How about now, guys?
Is my mic muted?
No, it's okay. I've fixed it. How about now, guys? Can you hear him?
You can hear me?
Yes, there we go. Yep, excellent. It was my
All
fault.
right.
It was my fault. Because I had headphones on. So
okay, so they.
Yeah, there we go. Right, let me turn this little fan heater off because it's fucking freezing here in the UK. Oh. Excellent stuff. So, first thing I'd like to do is just have a quick squiz through the chat and say hello to everybody. It doesn't take 3/4 of an hour like it does on Zypho streams. But here we go. First in was FC Den Haag. Yes, you got the link. Good ones. We've got the one and only, the man in white himself, Sam M. Good to see you. Good to see you last night, buddy. We've got the one and only Pete Walker. Pete Walker. Top dude. Good friend to the stream. We've got my backbone, I call her, because she helps me with these streams. It's the one and only Andrea Wyatt. Absolute superstar, she is.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
Also, my backbone is here in the chat. Jessica Marvin. That is Mrs. Shovel.
Oh,
everybody
wow.
Give a big welcome to Mrs. Shovel, Jessica Marvin.
Okay, can we get some love hearts sent out to Jessica, please? Good to see you, Jessica. Welcome to the Yellowbelly stream. And yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Who else have we got in? We've got Mike ZT. We saw him last night. And now we have Ego Chip. Ego Chip. He is a creator of an Amstrad game that I am playing at the moment. On I've just updated it onto my real CPC behind me. Chaos Rising 2, another Amy game, and he's just done a bug fix, I believe. So I'll have to upload that one onto it. We've got the one and only Johnny B, which is awesome. And let's have a look. Scrolling down, scrolling down. And I'm sure we've got plenty of lurkers as well. Jilla, hello. Good to see you. There's Jessica. Yep, I think I am up to date on there. So here we go. Hi, mate.
What's up?
Yeah.
Horns up.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, Yellowbelly.
Ah, no, it's my pleasure, mate. I've been looking forward to this one. I really have. There we go. Some love hearts going into Lady Jessica. Now your Jessica has a great interest in the Amstrad. Maybe I should swap you over.
Have her call into the call.
Yeah.
You'll get the real dirt.
So, as always, I like to ease me guest in, have a little chit chat, and then we'll just go into the subject matters. But the first question for you, Manshovel, is how did you get involved in this community? Because Amstrad was not really a thing over in the States.
Oh God, no! I'd never heard of it until probably within the last year. Um, I got insanely obsessed with the Sega Master System, which was not a popular console here in the United States, and it was much more popular in the like the UK and Europe and everything. So it kind of led to the YouTube rabbit hole of finding, people talking about like the Sega Master System being a lot of British YouTubers and streamers and such. So, and then they'd also start talking about their microcomputers and everything, their Amstrads and their Speckies and their Commodores. Um, the Commodore was the only microcomputer I played as a kid ever, and it was I never owned one. It was a friend of mine. I was probably about like 5 or 6 years old, and I was just being introduced to the NES at the same time. So he had Ghosts and Goblins, and I think he had Ghostbusters for the Commodore 64 too. And I got to play those games like once at his house. So it's I just love it. It's so just exotic. I love the chip tunes coming from the Amstrad. It's got a beautiful like sound chip. The games are really compelling, especially just being on cassette tape. That's such a, something that's just like wild. Like in the U.S., we didn't have like anything like that. I know Japan experimented with magnetic tape a little bit too, but it's really cool. It's fascinating. So one of these days, I'm going to hopefully be able to import an Amstrad and have a little fun myself.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool stuff. That's cool stuff. Yeah, the we grew up on all our games and etc. Were on cassette, and we now you had the we like to call it the North American game crash, in the 80s. But it never touched us here in the UK. We had a vibrant gaming because everything was on cassette. So you could buy them for like £1.99, which is what, $2 or whatever at the time, and yeah, it was great stuff. Disc drives were quite exotic to us, and I know the Commodore
Mhm.
64 had a tape player as well as you could buy a tape player as well as the floppy drives. But
Yep.
yeah, so how did you get introduced into the community? Was it on Zypho's stream or Novabugs or?
I was following Top Hat Gaming Man, and he took part in a chat on Retro Unlim. Um, and like I don't know, it was streaming and everything like that, and just I found it fascinating all the different characters that I had never encountered, like going down the YouTube rabbit hole. I believe Novabug was on there too. Um, but it was fascinating, and I hopped on the chat like on a whim because they just opened it up to everybody in the YouTube chat. So I hopped on, and then we were just kind of shooting the shit, and it was fun. And then I'm like, oh, let me check out this Novabug guy, and then like, oh, let me check out this Zypho guy, and these guys are fantastic. They're doing awesome things, so I get really excited about it, and I gotta get like Zypho. I was never into like streaming really until like Zypho, until I started watching Zypho streams, and now that guy's such a fantastic streamer. I like he keeps you captivated and engaged and everything, and he's just such a humble guy. So I got to give it out to Zypho. Puds out to Zypho.
Yes, definitely. He is how he manages these epic long streams. I don't know, because he goes on.
Holy crap, man!
Yeah,
5 hours, yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, hi Rukla and hi DVD film bloke. Good to see you, and Beardo. Good to see you as well. Yeah, it's your Jessica was saying how interesting it was. It was such a different history in the 80s for Americans that as a, as regards gaming and computers as it was in the Europe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, shout out to all the puds.
Looking
So
out there.
yeah, now if you, everybody knows you now, you've in a very very short time you've become quite a large character in the community, and yeah, it's nice to actually get you on, and people hopefully can have a little insight into your history as such, your retro
Oh yeah.
recollections. So, first thing I'm going to start off with is just a little bit. Hello, Rach. Oh, 8-bit Rach is in. 8-bit Rach, she's lovely, she is. Hello, sorry I'm late. I fell asleep. Well, there we go. Well, you get to wake up to this beautiful person, me. Now then, we'll get on to the old sweets first. Now, your sweets of choice. You used to get these 25-cent bundles, did you?
Yeah, what it was I don't. Do you guys have like the ice cream truck
Yes, we
in
do.
the UK?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was growing up as a kid in California, I lived in a condominium complex with like a bunch of different condominiums that were like kind of tied together, and we had a parking lot that wrapped around it, and it had speed bumps and everything. But the ice cream man would come out specifically during the summertime when you're just doing whatever, maybe inside in the air conditioning playing video games because it's 110 Fahrenheit there. But yeah, you come by and you can get your popsicles and your ice creams and things like that, and your sherbets and all that stuff for $1. But you could get the boxes of candy, the Boston baked beans, the lemon heads, the cherry clan, the Johnny Apple treat, the grape heads, and you'd have enough candy to last the whole afternoon after all your friends ate their ice cream in 10 minutes.
Yep.
So
yeah, you got
they were pretty awesome.
Yeah, you got some to show us, I believe.
Yeah, well, R.I.P. Rest in peace to the grape head and the cherry clan.
Oh,
Because the grape head, I don't know why it was taken off. The cherry clan was kind of insensitive to Asian Americans, so I'll give them that. Then they had Johnny Apple treat too, which was like a sour apple, and it was awesome.
yeah.
So first off, we got to show off the Boston baked beans.
Yep. Now what?
Still,
you're gonna have to tell us now what is inside it.
It's a candy coated peanut. So I'm going to open every one of these, and I'm going to snack on them during the stream.
Awesome. Oh, we've got Zypho in the chat. He is good to see you, Zypho.
Puds out to Zypho.
Yep.
So I'll show off like a few in my hand right here.
There we go. Yeah, I can see those.
They're candy-coated peanuts. They're delicious. And you get a box of them for 25 cents. Now, and they've been 25 cents for 30 years. The only thing I notice is the box keeps getting a little smaller. It's the inflation buster. I don't know.
Yeah. It's so you don't notice you're getting less.
Yeah, so they're kind of teeth crackers. The candy shell is really hard. It's really sweet and sugary, and it's got like this red dye in it.
Yeah. Does it dye your mouth? Does it?
No, it doesn't dye your mouth.
Oh.
It just sticks to your molars.
Yeah. So it's like it's like a pre-M&M, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm making some serious crunching in my ears right now. I can hear it. So one last one. So yeah, it's a candy coated peanut, and it's delicious, and you can get it for very cheap.
Yeah.
So then there's the lemon head.
Okay.
Let me get near the camera better. Yeah, there's the camera.
Right. Okay.
So the lemon head, that's the other flagship one. Everybody knows the Lemonheads. There's an American rock band named the Lemonheads too that are named after this candy. What it is, it's just basically like. Do you guys get Skittles imported there?
Yeah, we get Skittles. Yeah.
Okay, it's like Skittles. It's really overly sweet. I mean, looking at its nutritional content, which is none, but 18 grams of sugar in a serving.
Well, there you go. That's
So,
nutritional value for you.
yeah, the kids will be able to go ape shit for about 20 minutes before they crash.
Yes.
So, here's the lemon heads in the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
Now we have these ones too, and this is another fucking, excuse me, a like a jaw cracker.
Mm.
Kind of I don't know. It's got a sour flavor to it. The sweetness is overwhelming, but what I liken it to is my mother used to polish the furniture with this Old English yellow furniture polish. And it had a particular citrusy scent.
Yeah.
And that part of my olfactory senses is tickled by this candy.
So no, you're eating furniture polish. Fantastic.
Yeah, you know. But it's sour. I don't know if it's aged as well as the Boston baked beans have.
Perhaps not.
So here we have cherry head.
Right. So I assume this is just a cherry version of the lemon head.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. It used to be Cherry Clan, and it had these cherries with, like the Vietnamese hats on and all that stuff. Yeah, it's basically that. I mean, looking at it, it's the same amount of sugar, same caloric, 90 calories, 22 grams of carbohydrates, enough to keep a kid going like for like, a half an hour.
Well, yeah, this is it. I mean, you got to remember, this is what we used to live on: sweets. We didn't eat proper food, and that's why we were so nice and slim.
Speak for yourself. I was a fat little kid.
Oh, now, there we go. So the first thing that comes to mind is can you do as a truffle shuffle?
Yeah, all right. Chunk, man. Yeah, so this is sour as well. It's like a sour cherry flavor. That's not much more I can do. There's like a kind of like a bitter aftertaste.
Yeah, it's like marriage. Yeah.
No. Not with Mrs. Shovel. Puds up for Mrs. Shovel.
Yeah.
I gotta wash this down with some rum and coke. That one I probably like less than the lemon head.
Yeah. Let's wash it down.
And then...
Oh, there's more.
We had Red Hots.
Now then.
Can you guess what these taste like? You can probably see it. They're cinnamon.
Hot shit.
Right. So, we used to get these from the ice cream truck for dirt cheap. You could also get... they had fake cigarettes because, we wanted to indoctrinate children into smoking.
Yeah, we used to get those. So you used to be able to buy a packet of candy cigarettes, yeah.
Yep, and, some of them you'd be able to blow on. Then there was Fun Dip. Did you guys have Fun Dip?
I'm not sure. We used to have was it a sherbet type thing?
No, Fun Dip was basically, it was a packet of sugar, like just a pouch of sugar with a stick that was like made out of sugar that you licked, and you dipped it into the sugar, and then you sucked it off of the stick.
We used to have sherbet fountains and sherbet dib dabs, and you'd have a candy stick that you dipped into sherbet, powdered sherbet.
And yeah, the Red Hots taste like they always did. It kind of tastes like a thrift store.
That's a charity shop.
Yeah. You know how they have like the cinnamon potpourri around and everything?
Yeah. Is it hot? Are they hot?
I'm a man of discernible taste when it comes to hot things, so it's not that hot. It just I don't know. It does not taste that well. I have a few other sweets here that I'm going to go by real quick.
Yeah.
Big League Chew. Did you guys ever have this imported?
No.
This is how they indoctrinate kids into chewing tobacco.
All right, cool.
It's a grape gum. Now they didn't have grape heads anymore with the 25-cent candies, but we could get Big League Chew from the ice cream truck. I think for like 50 cents a pouch. This was like $1, I think.
Yeah.
So it's just a sugar gum. There's not a terrible amount of sugar in it, but if you open it up and then you roll it back up in a pouch and put it in your pocket, but it kind of looks like American chew.
Yeah, it does look like tobacco. Yeah.
But you put it in your mouth. It tastes like grapes. So we got that going on. And then we have the Ring Pop.
Oh, I know those.
This was another one. This started coming around in the early 90s. Ice Cream Man started having this on here. What it is a ring with a giant jewel on it.
Yep. Yeah, we had those in the UK. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The ring can't fit on my fingers anymore, but, And then lastly, we have the Charms Lollipop, the Blow Pop.
Ah, right, the Blow Pop.
Yeah.
Is this to indoctrinate young children into blowing?
You said it, not me. This is a sour apple. Kind of pay homage to the Johnny Apple treat.
Yeah.
But you basically suck on it, and in the middle of it is a piece of bubble gum. Right. So you get a lollipop, and at the end you get a piece of bubble gum.
All right. Yeah, so he's got gum in the middle. Yeah, excellent.
Oh, forgot about this.
Oh.
The Push Pop.
Oh, yes, we had those as well. Yeah.
Yep. And it basically looks like lipstick, and you lick it, and that one I might say is a little more suggestive in a weird, creepy way.
Yeah, so that's them indoctrinating you to lick. Yes. Superb. I'll just switch cameras. Thank you so much for that. And yes, you're going to be on a sugar high now for the rest of the stream.
Hopefully so. I might crash out in a half an hour and need to have some more.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, loads of people in the chat. Now, I don't know if you obviously Manshovel takes part in a lot of the after hours streams that we'd have on Discord, the chat rooms, and he was on with me last night, and yeah, it's we have fun. Obviously, there's a time difference, and I was mentioning Andrea before. Bless her. She does a lot of work for me. I'm just going to check in and see how Andrea's doing, because she does a lot of work. So let's have a look. Oh. Shh.
Horns to Andrea.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. She's asleep. So, yeah. Let's just we'll have to keep it down a bit. We don't want to wake her. She's a busy girl. And of course, we have a good friend of the stream, and I have been worried about this lockdown and his mental health. How it's affecting him. So I think we should just check in on a good friend of mine. Let's see how he's doing, shall we?
And we want to keep our short and so here is my hand, or here is my boat. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Take me
hey, it's
over
Pete Walker.
Yeah, he's I don't think he's doing too well with this lockdown. Looking at that, not to worry. And of course, we have the one and only Zypho. we've got Zypho. Let's now the good old China government gave me a webcam, so let's check in on Zypho, see what he's up to. Oh, he's pulling his pud. Right. Yeah. Well,
That's brilliant.
Yeah, we'll leave him to clean up there. Yeah. So yeah, please, people, but just be aware. Don't wake Andrea. And he was pulling his pud at Pete. Yeah. 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 It's a bit. Yeah. This is the community you've entered, mate. Are you sure you want to be part of it?
Can't be any worse than any of the other communities that I belong to. So, outcasts, freaks, and weirdos, and nerds and geeks.
Yes, happy days, radio. So, yeah, some they're all laughing in the chat. So, Jessica's getting right into it. Yes, superb.
She's just like her. She's just like her old man.
Yeah. So, well, maybe we can talk her into coming on camera at near the end of the stream. Come and say hello.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could probably get her out here.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Right. Oh, Anna's in the chat. Oh, how are you feeling, hon? Hope you're okay. Welcome onto the stream, honey. Big hearts. Yeah,
hearts to Andy.
Yep. Hearts to everybody. Yep. Yes, you should have, Andrea.
Oh, Anna's on. Yeah.
Yeah, Anna. Yeah. So
Anna and Andrea. Big hearts to you, ladies.
Yeah. So yes, Andrea, you should have. She was saying she should have sent me a certain clip. But we'll get him. Don't you worry. We'll get him.
Oh, Texie's already looking at the Judas Priest record, so we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we can cover that. So we'll go on to let's go on to toys, shall we? And what I'm going to do is with these toys, I'm going to pull them all up on screen now. And 1, 2, 3. There.
Oh yeah, Lino.
Yeah, good old Lino.
Duke.
Yeah.
Oh just
And we have a
Shield Tech Batman. I just ordered a Shield Tech Batman. Just to keep with Shield Tech Batman. I had that right after Kenner got the license to do the Batman movie action figures. Probably like 1990.
Yeah.
And I love that thing. I love Batman. 1989 Batman threw me into a crazy Batman frenzy. And there'll be more to come of that. But I had this action figure, and I even brought it to New York when I was visiting my grandparents in Niagara Falls. And then I brought it back to California, and some little bastard grabbed it from me and threw it on top of the roof of our condo. And I never saw that Batman action figure again.
I hope you gave him a good thump.
Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember what I did. I might have done that, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but
these were your toys of choice then? The Thundercats, was that due to the TV series, yeah?
Oh, yeah. The TV series came on like really early in the morning on Saturdays. And when I lived in California, for some reason, we got a Chicago network that was provided by our cable service. And they had, at 6 a.m., they had Bozo the Clown. I don't know if you guys ever got any sort of Bozo the Clown exposure in the UK.
No.
Bozo the Clown was like just this long-running clown that the kids woke up to on Saturday mornings and, had a variety show for kids.
Yeah. No, we had nothing with it.
But afterward, I stuck around for Thundercats. And the cartoon show was just like incredible to a 4-year-old kid, like just out there, So I took a liking to Lion-O, and I had the Lion-O action figure. I I lost everything that came with him except for the glove. The glove I was able to hold on to. And then I had a Thundercats, like a Lion's sword that had a button on it that lit up. And, I used to ride my bike with training wheels on it and just like, swat around at things like I was jousting with Lion's sword.
Super.
Then an older kid took the sword from me and shoved it in my spokes, and then I got upset by it.
Yeah.
And then I vowed to take the training wheels off.
Yeah, Zypho had that as well, he claims, no? He says, I had that sword.
The Thundercat sword? Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, my brother and I had the Thundercats toys. We had the He-Man toys too, but the He-Man was just a little early before I started getting into action figures. And Thundercats coming out in about like 85, 86, and 87 was like, around the time I started like playing with action figures. Oh, okay. Well, you can hop on there. I'm. That's my wife. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, I had the Lion-O. I had the Snarf, which was Lion-O's like pet like dog dragon thing.
Hang on. No. Now, why would you have Snarf? Because he was the worst character.
I don't know. I just probably because of my brother. My brother, I think, might have taken a liking to Snarf. So we had a Snarf action figure. We had Mumra. We not only had Mumra, okay, the big Mumra when he's like all juiced up on steroids.
Yeah.
But we had the Mumra, which was like the actual mummy in the cloak, and you had to mail away to get the thing.
Wow.
So you had to send them a proof of purchase and give them $5. Lo and behold, 4 to 6 weeks later, you had a Mumra action figure. So we had a Mumra action figure. We also had the Slythe. You remember Slythe?
Yes.
My brother had the Slythe he got for Christmas one year, and he took a liking to it. He kind of like took on a paternal thing, and it was like his baby Slythe. He was super excited about his baby Slythe. We had Groon, and then my personal favorite Thundercat action figure out of them all was Hachi-Man. You remember Hachi-Man?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Hachi-Man was like the samurai guy, and he had like a samurai helmet. He had a sword, and he had this like action where he swung like this.
Oh yeah.
Like in like he's doing some sword play. But he was the coolest Thundercats character. The episode that he was in was like kind of dark. A little dark for a young kid to be watching, but it ended up being that Mumra took Hachi-Man and like deluded him into believing that like Lion-O was like a threat to his like culture or something. So he ended up going after Lion-O, and then they eventually became friends, and then foiled Mumra's plans again until next week.
Awesome. Maybe we can. Somebody can find that episode on YouTube. That'd be interesting. If you do find it, just feel free to put a link in my Discord on that for that episode. That would be cool. So obviously you've got G.I. Joe, which our version of G.I. Joe was Action Man. Action Man. All right. Yeah, he was. They also had Captain Action here in the States. My father had a Captain Action figure in the '60s as a kid. Yeah, were you a big G.I. Joe kind of guy? Oh, I had the G.I. Joes. I had like the little 3.5-inch action figures. I had, a fair amount of them. But this was the big thing. This one that came out in 1991. Yeah, just so you know, guys, that's roughly 3.5 inches. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is a 12-inch doll, and I wish I still had it, but he's in the actual fatigues, and he had a gun that had a button on it that, and it was awesome. And this was like about the age where I was starting to get away from playing with action figures and toys, but I hadn't quite yet. That same Christmas that I got that, my parents jumped through hoops to find that thing. It's like it was sold out everywhere they went, and they finally found it somewhere, and they got it for me for that Christmas, and I was so excited about it. And I love that action figure.
But that same year, I also started to get into rock and roll, and I got a couple of Guns N' Roses CDs, and that kind of ruined it.
Yeah. This, it's about all of a sudden. The older you get, the toys become less important, and girls and music seem to take
That's
over.
basically it. I was ready to be a singer or a guitar player, you know.
Yeah. Which is actually, I just want to jump backwards to sweets because I did forget something on there. So what I shall do is I shall drop that, and drop that. And if I can find it, where did I put it now? There. Now then, speaking of music, there was one drink that you brought up, and what a tune! And then I realised it was Van Halen.
Yep. Oh yeah, Van Hagar, going for that cash grab. God bless him.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
Right now, here tomorrow, right now, I'll give you everything. It's a magic moment, right here and now.
Oh. Right. Pete, you absolute legend. You are. Pete Walker's just...
Horns up for Pete Walker.
Yeah, he's just done a big donate and said, he says, I'm an arsehole, but I love you. Well, I love you too, buddy, you know that. And feel free to do any singing you wish on my Discord channel, and I shall rip it and take the piss. But it's out of love. It's out of love.
Hey, we could do a Corona musical project. You need a vocalist for a heavy metal project. I can hit those falsettos.
Oh, super. Yeah, so I mean, we will be talking about music later on.
Definitely.
But
yeah, that was the Crystal Clear Pepsi. The Crystal Pepsi. I always remembered it as Crystal Clear Pepsi, but it's actually Crystal Pepsi. And there was nothing spectacular about the thing. It tasted like regular Pepsi. They just omitted caramel coloring. That's it.
All right, so it was exactly.
And
yeah. Wow. Yeah.
They thought it would be the thing of the future, but it ended up being kind of like a fad.
Yeah.
And it was around in the early '90s. A few years back, like 2017, they'd done a limited run of it, and I think I got like a 12-pack of it.
Yeah.
And polished it off over the course of a month.
Yeah. Was it the same?
It wasn't anything spectacular, but.
Yeah. No, I'm going to ask the chat now. Did we get this? Because I don't recall it at all, getting this clear Pepsi. So I'll ask the chat that. Also, I've just noticed in the chat the one and only Novabug. Now then. So, as you know...
Horns up for Novabug.
Yeah, horns out for Novabug indeed. Now, you know as well as I do, he's not been too well recently. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tune into his webcam and just see how he's doing. Oh, right. Well, he looks a lot better there than, and he looks a little bit busy as well. Yeah.
He also knows the Thundercats episode that I mentioned with with Hachi Man, the Thunder Cutter.
The Thunder Cutter, right? There we go. So we'll all be searching that on the old YouTubes. There we go. But yeah, I think we can safely say Novabug is feeling a lot better, and he's back to his activities in his bug loft, we shall say.
The bug loft.
Yeah. So happy days. So let's have a look through the chat. Yes. No, nobody's saying. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. That's. People are saying, not saying anything. So I don't think it was a thing here in the UK. The clear Pepsi, by the looks of it. Yeah. So, but
it was a short-lived fad, along with the Jumpin' Jack Doritos, which are up there behind it. Yeah. I love the Jumpin' Jack Doritos. They were like a Monterey Jack, Pepper Jack. I always remembered them as being Monterey Jack, but they were actually Jumpin' Jack Doritos. They had the black bag, they were cheesy and spicy at the same time.
Ah, right.
And you know, when we lived in Southern California, we used to often go camping in the desert, and you know, you'd bring all the shitty food along with you, like you had to, you know. So my friends and I would drink Crystal Pepsi and eat a bunch of Jumpin' Jack Doritos, and then run up the side of a mountain for like an hour, and then come back down and watch out for snakes and scorpions.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So yeah, I just thought I would just nip back and cover that because it took me ages to find the video, so it'd be rude not to. So then
Van Halen were able to cash in on that one.
Oh, definitely. Now I'm looking for something. Where did I put it? It's disappeared. Yeah, it's not there. So why is that not saved?
Cheers, Zypho.
Yeah. Oh, it's here. I've done that. I've done the toys there. So where's my e-toys gone? Why have they disappeared? Sorry, just bear with me. Yeah, I'm just trying to. Here they are. Yeah. So going on from toys before onto electronic toys, and what we'll do is at the end I'll put you on big screen. We'll do a show and tell as well. Electronic toys. I'm going to play the adverts for a couple of these for you, and yeah, let's see. Let's see if these bring back some nice, happy memories for you.
Children love showing off good grades, and they're entitled. It's hard work. But with Speakin' Math from Texas Instruments, it isn't all work and no play. Speakin' Math's fun activities and 3 levels of difficulty motivate kids. That's right. To learn at their own pace, from basic math to decimals.
That's Speakin' Math.
No, we can't promise A's, but if we can help your child do better in math, it's worth a try. Speakin' Math from Texas Instruments.
There we go, Texas Instruments, which we used to get Texas Instruments stuff over here in the UK. Speaking Math, I'm not too sure on though. Guys in the chat, let me know. We did have Speak and Spell, I definitely know that.
Speak and Spell was the one that everybody knew. Yeah. We didn't have a Speak and Spell in my house. We had a Speak and Math.
Right. What are your memories of that? Yeah.
I think it was something that my older brother had. He was 4 years ahead of me, so he was probably doing a little more advanced math. But I used to get a kick out of the thing, just turning it on and pressing buttons and hearing the computerized voice speak to me. And I always just remember greater than, less than, level 1. And then it would just like play some chime or whatever. You'd hit it at any button and it would still go greater than, less than, level 1. And then you do another button, greater than, less than, level 1. And it was like, I just thought it was hysterical. So, you know, like that's my memory of that, is just joking around with that thing. And it's kind of like it leads to experimentation with things. So now, it's kind of cool.
Did you do what we all used to do, try and get it to swear? Or curse?
No, but that would have been awesome.
Yeah, just get it to curse. Yeah. Yeah, it was that like an orangey red, the Speak and Spell we had. Yeah, let's spell twat. Yeah. The chat's firing up now about it. Yeah. I'm just reading the chat, they're all firing up, yeah. Oh, hello, Girl Afraid. Good to see you. That's Mrs. Beardo, if people are not sure. And T-Dog, good to see you as well. Good to have you in the old chat. Good to see you. Yeah. Let's move on to your next electronic toy. Sorry, I was getting distracted by the chat there. I've got to try and be a bit more professional. Not. And your next electronic toy
Tiger puts arcade action in the
was the old Tiger LCDs. Now, I've got some adverts going on, and what we can do is we can actually talk over this one.
All right, excellent.
Yeah, so, and just leave it.
They make it look so awesome, and it's not. But it is in a certain way. I never owned one of these. I don't believe I ever owned one of these. I did own a Batman watch, okay? but these like made the rounds on the playground.
Yeah, right.
Like
Well,
at
watch this next one now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right, just wait.
But can you defeat him to win? Also available, Tiger's Batman wrist game for the time of your life. Tiger
Was that it?
Oh yeah, that's it. I also had a Batman Returns one where it's the Batmobile like racing and shooting at other cars, and it was phenomenal. But all the other ones like Simon's Quest, Double Dragon, Ninja Gaiden, all that stuff, never got across a Mega Man, but that would have been awesome. But the kids could bring them to school and hide them in their book bag, and then once it's time to go out to recess, you know, you go out and play, and your friends all have them, and they're swapping them back and forth. Play this, play this. So, by extension, you know, your friends' toys were your toys too. I mean, I don't know, like I used to swap toys and video games with friends, and you know, later on we used to trade comic books and trade like trading cards and things, you know. So. But yeah, it was like your friends' toys. Like you were exposed to all their toys. So, and like the Tiger like things were awesome, just because you could play a video game away from home, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, parents loved them because they were a hell of a lot cheaper than a Game Boy.
Yeah, true.
So here you go. Here's a stocking stuffer. I dropped $20 on this, and I thank God I didn't have to drop $100 on the Game Boy, you know, like.
Yeah, they were like you were saying. It was you call it recess, we called it playtime at school.
Yep.
And yeah, you used to sit with all your mates, and you'd swap them around. You'd try this one, and yeah, it was good stuff, really. But really, when you actually look back at it, they were pretty shite.
Yeah.
They couldn't really capture the arcade like they claim. But no,
it's an LCD game, you know, and it is what it is. I mean,
we had the precursor to LCD, VFD, which were vacuum fluorescent displays. So I don't know if you had those over in the States. I should imagine under Epoch they would have been over there.
I think I might recall Epoch, like.
So yeah, it might be. I've covered it a couple of times on my retro recollections already. So if you check it out, you'll see that.
All right, yeah, I'll look into that. I'm wondering if Epoch were the ones that did like the Konami games, like if they the early ones like Top Gun and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and.
Yeah, I'm talking earlier than that now. I'm talking.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm talking Space Invaders copies, Galaxian copies, that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
The LCD, I mean, Zypho's he mentioned in the chat there that he's just bought the Batman one off eBay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. He actually has a full collection, a load of these LCDs. So when he does his retro recollections, he can show them off as such. That'd be awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. So we go from the old LCDs to something a little bit more tactile, shall we say? And now I couldn't find videos on this, but it was here's your car of choice back in the day.
That was it. That was it. It was the Nico Mini Magnum. My parents bought it for me because I wanted an RC car. And God, that was a terrible RC car. Terrible battery life. You couldn't get more than 20 feet away from the thing, and then it would just die. But God damn it, I had an RC car, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it had the Bridgestone branding on it. You know, it looked cool. I had an RC car. My older brother had a cooler looking RC car that I was envious of. But I had this one. And that was the same year I got like the G.I. Joe and the Guns N' Roses CDs. And, I got like roller blades and a hockey stick because I wanted to try roller hockey. That did not last. But, yeah, that's the RC car itself right there.
Yeah, and like I said, you couldn't be more than 20 feet away from it. Did you?
Yeah.
Hi, Technic. Good to see you, buddy. Our OSG's in as well. Old School Gaming.
Old School Gaming. What up?
The Commodore man himself. And my memories of RC is, like you said, the battery's lasting 5 minutes. But
Oh, yeah.
we used to run them on. We had to run them on the pavement or the sidewalk, or what I think you call it over there, because basically it wouldn't go through the grass.
Oh, yeah, the grass would just stop it in its tracks.
Yeah. Happy days.
What we used to do is I was telling you earlier, we lived in a complex with condominiums. We had a swimming pool with jacuzzis in the middle of it and everything, and a big playground and several like small playgrounds around for the kids. They were like 2-bedroom condominiums. My brother and I shared a bedroom. My parents shared a bedroom. We had 1.5 bath in there. But we had speed bumps. Not only would we take our BMXs and ride fast and hop the speed bumps on them, but we would also take our RC cars and try to hop the speed bumps with the RC cars.
Well, yeah,
And
it was.
usually,
It was nice for the government and the councils to actually give us these ramps.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what they were, ramps.
Yeah, in our case, it was a homeowners association. But yeah, that's basically it. Like where we lived, like we had a very small, like maybe 5 foot by 10 foot, like front yard. And you're out there, you have an outdoor parking space and a parking space underneath an overhang and storage space there. And the kids used to hang out, and we ran around where traffic was coming in and out. But the speed limit was 5 miles an hour, so. But yeah, it was a blast, and I used to take the RC car and right over the ramp and watch it just tumble and get wrecked.
Yeah. Back in my day, before RC became a thing, I used to have the Evel Knievel stunt bike, and you'd wind it, and wind it, and then just let it go. That was as close to RC that I personally got, but we're talking late 70s here now. And
it had like a crank on it, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great toy. Hundreds of pounds now to buy. So that's your electronic toy selection, and so what is what we shall do is move on to some gaming. Now, all being well, I need to first of all get my emulator up and running. So just bear with me.
All right.
Because
while you're doing that, I'm gonna go run and take a slash.
Yeah, I'll have a little chit chat with the chat while you're doing that, buddy. No problem.
Catch up with the chat. Send my regards, and I will be back in just a couple.
No problem. Right, I'll try and catch up with the chat in a minute. Let's have a look. Here we go. So, yeah, we got the wonderful OSG in the chat. And he said he loved RC cars. Excellent. Yeah, he had a few. Yeah. Now I have a few Nitro RCs. Yeah. The great in Morrison's car park. Excellent stuff. Alright, if I can find where's my screen capture's gone. There we go. Oh yes, the possible series for you guys. Speak to Novabug on his Discord, and I'm sure he'll fill you in on that. I'm looking forward to that if it happens. 8-Bit Rage says my brother had an RC lorry, and the crawl was attached to the lorry with a cable, so you had to follow it behind. Yes, I do that. Yeah. Technic used to have a Tamiya Grasshopper. Yep. Remember that? 14 hours to charge for 20 minutes. Yeah, we all did that. Yeah, we all remember that, yeah. Yeah, all good. Yeah. Superb. Now, we're going to be looking at some Nintendo stuff. It's America, isn't it? Let's be honest. So, we're going to be looking at American stuff. And so it's going to be Nintendo. Bear with me on these games, guys, because I really never, ever have played Nintendo. So, what I shall be doing is having a go with this Bionic Commando when he comes back and gives us his memories. So, again, we didn't have the game crash that America had. It was the gaming scene was up, running, no problem. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, again, on the old gaming front, what was really popular for the American thing. I think the claim was that Nintendo saved it, but it was never really the gaming industry. But as I said, we never lost the gaming industry without Amstrads and Commodores and Spectrums and things. So the first game of yours...
if you look... Yeah, to jump in, if you look at the whole thing, the gaming crash was supposedly in 1984. Nintendo put out the NES in 1985. Arcades were still going through the whole thing. Like, nobody lost interest in video gaming, you know? Like, I think it's just kind of a historical revisionism when it comes to things, you know? Yeah, Atari kind of took a shit, but video gaming itself wasn't, like, you know, lost in America, you know?
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah, it's a lot of these nostalgia channels, especially the Americans, constantly harping on about it. So, here's your first game of choice, and this is a good old Nintendo one. And you're gonna have to bear with me because I'm new to these. I'm used to keyboards and Amstrads, so. Oh, are you showing something on screen there? Oh, there's the actual original cartridge, folks. Yeah, I'll just go.
Yes.
Yep, there you go. There's
Bionic Commando.
Bionic Commando.
Published by Capcom for the NES.
Right.
They had a terrible arcade game of the same title. Don't play that. If you're going to play Bionic Commando, this is the one to play. To kind of put it in a nutshell, you know, a lot of these platformer games, you're used to jumping in order to get to places. And this one, you use a bionic arm, and you swing with that bionic arm from ledge to ledge. And you also have a gun and a communicator. And it's kind of like a weird, like, action platformer meets, like, non-linear RPG sort of style thing. But you're in this kind of, like, I don't know, post-apocalyptic future where there's two warring factions. And one is the Federation, who you're the protagonist represents. And then the other one are the Bads, like BADDS. Now, in the Japanese original, Top Secret, they're Nazis. They're Nazis, but Nintendo found that that would be a bit too offensive for Western audiences.
Yeah.
So they had to change them to the Bads.
Right,
so there's the Bads. And the Japanese game had, like, flags with swastikas in them.
Yeah.
So it was very heavily censored for the Western market, but hey, if that's what it took to get this game to market, that's fine, because this game is amazing. My parents took my brother and I to a local toy store, probably in like 1989, I'd like to say. And I can't remember where we had gained knowledge of this game. Maybe we rented it or something and thought it was awesome, and we just wanted the game. And it was going for the discount price of like $39.99, which, you know, back then is still a lot of money, but yeah. NES games were, you know, $60, $70. So you only got, like, gifts, like, on Christmas and your birthday, but if your parents bought you a game, like, in between those times, hey, that's awesome. So they took us there for Easter, and my brother and I got this game, and we fell in love with it. We played the hell out of this game. and figured out all the secrets to the game. You know, and we beat the game eventually. And spoiler alert, in the end, you shoot a bazooka through a reincarnated Adolf Hitler's face and it explodes.
Oh, superb. And they left that in.
Yeah, and they don't call him Hitler, he's Master D.
Excellent.
So,
stuff. Yeah.
We had a blast with this one. It was awesome. It's probably one of my favorites. I typically bust it out and beat it in a few hours every year. I've played like the remakes that they made for PS3, Bionic Commando Rearmed, and Bionic Commando Rearmed 2. I played the Bionic Commando game for PS3, which features the voice talent of Faith No More singer Mike Patton, who is a big part of my growing up, and we'll get more there later. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So.
Superb. Yeah. There's a lot of German Nazi symbolism in it. You can see, but they've they just have the flags with the double. I think it was a single-headed eagle rather than the double. Well, yeah, it's all good.
They use that sort of aesthetic too, you know.
Yeah, but Nintendo were buggers for censorship in their games, unfortunately.
Definitely.
Yeah, and somebody it was like
lucky that Capcom was able to adapt.
Yeah,
Capcom are probably one of my favorite publishers too.
Yeah,
for the NES.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, let's have a look. See,
so, it's a close one between them and Konami. Konami made phenomenal games too.
Yeah. What I shall do is I'll open this up. Now, I'm not a Nintendo fanboy. I was more a Sega guy. But yeah, I suppose if it's Nintendo, you've got to have some sort of Mario game. And yours was Mario 2. Why did you choose Mario 2? Was it just due to the that was what you had?
It was. We had Super Mario Brothers when we got the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was like I'm gonna guess probably Christmas 1987. And we got Mario and Duck Hunt. And Mario is a fun game, and we would play it, but that's a tough game to beat. You know, you got to really put time on that. Like my brother's older friend, or my older brother's friend Alex. Or Adam, excuse me. Adam was his name. He had actually was like keeping his Nintendo turned on with the television off so that he could continue playing the game. And he was the first person to see beat it. I never beat the original Mario Brothers. I was just a bit young when it was coming out, and I was just still trying to figure out video games.
Yeah.
So in my formative years of playing other games, eventually, I think the following year after we got our Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers 2 came out, and this is Super Mario Brothers 2. Fuck you people that say the Japanese one is the real one. If you lived in the NTSC or the PAL market, this is Super Mario Brothers 2. Shut up. Anyway, this was the shit. Okay, you could like grab the enemies, you step on the enemies, and you pick them up and throw them at each other. That's way cooler than the shit they had in the first Mario Brothers game. You know, like it was just awesome. Way more colorful backgrounds, more cool stuff in it. You know, like we know it was made after Yume Kodo Doki Doki, but it was a remake development team that worked in the Mario games too. A lot of the same aesthetics from this game have remained like throughout Mario like since. So screw that, man. This was the first Mario Brothers game that I beat. Probably one of the first games I beat as a kid. And you know, you find out like the warps and all the secrets and things like that. Yeah. And then you get to Wart and you throw all the vegetables in his mouth while he's trying to shoot bubbles at you. And this was also the first game where you could play with the roster of 4, including this guy.
Yeah.
Toad. He's like the underdog in this whole thing. He's short, kind of not very menacing looking, you know, but he's got the strength. He could pick up everything like really quickly. So, and he could run fast. So when you got to pick up coins out of the ground and you got to run fast and pick up enemies quick and shoot them, this is your guy. He can't jump very high, but whatever. Toad was my guy playing that game, so that game was a blast. And I still bust it out every now and then and have a riot playing it.
Yeah. Ah, you bastard. Yeah, I'm struggling to pick up. Maybe because I'm small. I'm not sure. Well, so, yeah. I understand the people like Mario and stuff like that. I was just I never got into Nintendo at all. I was quite content with the Amstrad. I was quite content with my retro gaming on that.
Yeah, Nintendo dropped the ball in the PAL region. That's definitely it. Whereas like Sega dropped the ball in NTSC.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Sega definitely had their shit together in the PAL region, but
yeah.
Nintendo didn't really enter the market until the SNES.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't. The marketing was terrible. They just pretty much non-existent in the UK for the NES.
Yep. And that's how it was with the Sega Master System too. Like, I had no friends that had Sega Master Systems. The only friend I had that had a Sega originally, had a Sega Mega Drive.
Yeah.
And that was when Sega got the foothold in the American market. Yeah. And I only had a Mega Drive. I had a NES initially. I also had an Atari 2600 that my parents bought after we had the NES, and we used to play it for novelty's sake, and we had a blast playing that. It was the Black Vader console. It wasn't like the one with the wood grain.
Oh yeah.
It was just it was all black, and it was awesome, and we used to play that. In the NES, and then like 1993-ish, maybe 94. Yeah, 94 when my parents were getting a divorce. I got a Christmas gift from my dad. He got me a Sega Genesis.
Ah, divorce presents. Yes, they were always expensive divorce presents. Right? Yeah.
Eventually in 96, he bought a Super Nintendo 2, which he kept at his house for when I'd come visit, and then eventually I got it in 2008. So.
Superb, yeah. Sega. Again, both. The problem we had with the Master System was Nintendo made it so it was impossible for people to make games for the Master System. So they made it the Nintendo exclusive. So they kind of screwed us over with that. But they didn't have the machine actually that well represented in Europe. Right, what I've got going now is I think you've frozen on camera. Not to worry. The next choice of yours was Space Quest 3, which is playing in the background as we speak. Now then, have I lost Manshovel? Are you still there, buddy? No, I think I've lost him. Yeah, what I shall do is I shall have a quick look on my... Yeah, I have lost Manshovel at the moment. So I should just carry on while we try and get something sorted out. Maybe he dropped his phone or it ran out of battery. But no worries, we'll... I'll pick up with him once he comes. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, my internet just took a dump on me. I don't know what the hell happened.
Ah, yeah, no problem. It's good to have you back. So I'm playing
These greedy
now.
Corporations.
Yeah, I'm playing Space Quest 3 in the background now. So this was an interesting choice. Tell me about it.
So when I was in the 3rd grade, I think, yeah, because this is an interesting story. I got hit by a car 2 years in a row to the day on the Ides of March in the 2nd grade, crossing a crosswalk, and then in the 3rd grade again with my friend David, who was my friend with the Genesis, Mega Drive, whatever. And we got hit by a car. The woman wasn't watching for us. We were double riding on my my Diamondback BMX. Like I was riding on the pegs and David was steering, and she ran us over. I flipped off and landed on my feet, and then David was underneath the car. So it was pretty crazy. My parents lost their minds because how the hell does this happen like a year apart to the date? So as part of the settlement, you know, from the driver who hit us, like my parents were able to afford buying a PC for the house. And I had like some friends that I used to hang out with. You know, the parents were Colombian immigrants and they had kids that I like. Felipe was a buddy of mine, and his father built us the computer. His father was like a you know, like an information technology guy. He could work on computers and build computers. So he built us a PC. It had MS-DOS on it, and it had Windows 3.0. My father was able to use it for business, and we could play on it. So we had, you know, games loaded on it like Prince of Persia, F-15 Strike Eagle. But Felipe had a 3.5-inch floppy disk that he had copied this game, Space Quest 3, featuring Roger Wilco, the protagonist. And I had this, like, you know, this bootleg 3.5-inch floppy, and was able to load up this game. And basically, it's like King's Quest. You guys ever play King's Quest?
Yeah, we had King's Quest over here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're moving, you're pointing and clicking. Your character's moving around and things like that. And you've got this character Roger Wilco, who's like a janitor that gets like caught in like this like space espionage. So it's pretty amusing. And like this was the 3rd in the series. I hadn't played the other ones ever, but I thought it was hilarious because in the game you could like get him to do anything, and certain commands would get him killed. And the way that they describe the deaths are hysterical. You think they're the funniest thing when you're like 10 or 11 years old, you know, and you're playing this game, and the guy like grabs for a piece of sheet metal and then dies from slicing his hand open and getting like a tetanus infection.
Yeah.
And he's just a bumbling janitor, and like you go through all these missions, and it's trial and error. So you end up spending hours playing this, and this was like me first playing PC games, you know. And it was fantastic. I you know, kind of was like branching out from just playing an NES to figuring out like, oh, you could play games on a personal computer. This is awesome, you know? So this was just like a very exciting time, and like, you know, my formative youth in playing video games.
Yeah.
Like, eventually we got Wolfenstein 3D after that, and it was like, what?
yeah, I remember that when it came out. Yeah, these point and clicks, we call these point and clicks, and again, we were playing these type of games on the 16-bit machines.
Yep. Probably on the Amiga and stuff like that.
The Amiga, the Atari, ST, and because you got to remember the Amiga was far more advanced graphically than any of the PCs at the time.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, these point and clicks. Now I know Kate. Yeah, Kate. There's Kate in the chat. She loved King's Quest. There you go. So yeah, Leisure Suit Larry. Yeah, I remember them.
Leisure Suit Larry was another one, yeah. We heard about Leisure Suit Larry, but that was like kind of a bit too adult, so we couldn't get access to it.
Yeah. So
it was Leisure Suit Larry was a legend around the playground.
Yeah. Well, those type of games, I can understand that. Yeah, they were awesome, absolutely awesome. Yeah, people in the chat are going, Mike ZT says you're a lucky man. When he broke his leg, his parents bought a new carpet.
Well, yep, nope. We got a PC. My father did graphic art. So we had to have the PC for that, so that he could make some money on the side, because he was a cartographer and for the county fire department, and then on top of that he had a little graphics art business on the side, and he did work for people like Glenn Campbell, like the country singer.
Oh yeah.
And some stuff with like the fire department too. And he had Corel Draw on there. I don't know if anybody in the chat ever used Corel Draw, but this was like well before Photoshop or anything like that. And I learned how to use Corel Draw when I was like a 9-10-year-old kid. And I was getting really heavily into drawing because my father was an artist and my brother also picked up like drawing too. So we're all like, really into illustration and stuff. And I wanted to make comic books, so I would like lay out my comic book panels with Corel Draw and print them out and then draw into them. And yeah, Corel Draw was awesome. Windows 3.0 and 3.1 were amazing.
Yeah.
It really wrecked everything with Windows 95. It's never been the same.
Rightio. Yep. And Andrea actually says, yes, we still have a copy of Corel Draw. There you go.
Hell yeah, Corel Draw is awesome. I think next computer I get, I might load like the newer Corel Draw on there and say screw you, Photoshop.
Yeah. Superb. Rightio. So that's pretty much the gaming out of the way. Apart from, I want to go into another subject, but what I'm going to do is actually have a break, if that's okay with you.
Oh, that's fine. I could probably go take another slash.
Yeah, only because I need to go to the toilet myself, and I will need to get a drink. So what I shall do is I shall leave this running, and I shall knock off my output just while I have a brew. So you guys in the chat, just give us just a couple of minutes so I can get a drink and go to the toilet, and yeah, you can. I think this is long footage of, so we should be able to. You'll have something to watch, and I'll put some background music on as well. And the background music is going to be courtesy of my Amstrad CPC. And if I can,
love that sound chip, man. That sound chip's amazing.
Yeah, if it works. She's having a moment. There we go. So I shall. There we go. So, and it's one of my favourite tunes actually on the Amstrad. So I shall do that, and I shall put my microphone next to it, just so people can hear it. So hopefully that should be coming through to you folks. So hopefully you can still hear. Right, and I shall just go for a drink and a wee. I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys. There we go, we're back. Simi says he likes this music. Yes, I do.
Good.
I do, yes, it's awesome.
It slaps.
It is, and it sounds really good on the old CPC. Alright, I shall knock that off, but yes, if you... the game is called Over Koban, Zypho. The game itself is not so good, but the music is amazing. So let's just quickly whiz this round. So it's Over Koban. And there we go. So we still have Space Quest going in the background. Yep. So let's have a quick check on the chat. Here we go. Radio.
See if I can adjust the quality.
Yeah.
Quality.
Yep, still talking about Leisure Suite. Yep.
Right
Simi likes this music. Yep. Deluxe Paint, yeah. Talking about Deluxe Paint on the Amiga. Stand by for a McDonald's product placement.
Yeah, there's some funny ass shit in this game. This is a fun one. If anybody has the opportunity, like if Zypho wants to play this and stream it, hey, be my guest, man. This one's a blast.
Yeah, it needs it'll have a bit of longevity as well. I don't know if you remember. Did you get the Discworld games over there?
I don't recall. No,
the Terry Pratchett Discworld games. They were awesome. They were along the similar vein as again, and a lot of good humour in it. Yeah, it's a newish game. Yeah, I think it's 2015 Zypho. Over Koban. They're all talking about A1200 stuff. Deluxe Paint 5 they had on his John Gage had that on an Amiga 1200. It's really cool actually because it gives, again, I love the way that the chat just goes off and oh yeah, I remember that, and you know they start talking about it. It's brilliant.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and again, that's what it's about. It's all about everybody having a chat and having memories, which is awesome. Absolutely.
And that's definitely it. Like the PC was like, that was what turned me on to computer gaming. You know, like when the PC came around, it was like, oh wow, I could play these crazy games on this thing. You know.
Yeah.
You know, after this, you know, it was like I said, Wolfenstein 3D and then Doom. It was a big deal in the 90s for sure. That's kind of where I was more focused at. Like, I kind of got out of gaming for a little bit, like mostly just because like I was more interested in playing guitar and chasing girls and things like that. So, you know, I didn't get back into it until the PlayStation 1 came out, but, you know.
Yeah. I think we all went through that. Me earlier, obviously, because of my age. So, but yeah, I fell out with gaming, and it didn't really. The only time I'd actually game is when my younger brother, who was into it, and we're talking now the Sega Saturn, PlayStation, and Dreamcast era. He'd bring his games round to my house because I had my own place, and we'd stay up all night playing them. But that was the only time I'd game then after that. Just those lads' nights that we used to have. So let's go on to arcade. And what I'm going to discuss with you is that, first of all, did you have a local arcade?
What was kind of interesting in the early 90s in California was you had like a proliferation of arcade games in like restaurants and pizzerias. I don't know if you had these in the UK. Did you ever have Chuck E. Cheese?
No.
Okay, Chuck E. Cheese was this place that Nolan Bushnell, like the founder of Atari, had like sunk some venture capital into. And what it was basically, it was a restaurant that had arcade games and like kind of like you know, skee ball and things that you could earn tickets on and buy toys with and stuff like that. And Chuck E. Cheese was amazing. Like you could go there and they had these animatronic puppets like that are singing these bad rock songs and you're eating like, you know, this like really bad pizza. And usually the best was when you got the Hawaiian pizza with the fucking pineapple and the ham in it. And then your parents would tell you to piss off while they drank beer, and you went into the arcade, and lo and behold, in their arcade, they had an X-Men arcade cabinet, and, you know, you can get 5 of your friends on this thing or whatever. I think it was 4 or 5. And just beat the hell out of, like, Sentinels. And this was around the time that, like, we were getting real into X-Men. X-Men was hot in the early 90s. Like, that was the shit. Like, you know, X-Men, just like the mutants, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, everything from the comic books to trading the trading cards, everything. We used to live and die by X-Men. And, but, like, this game was at the Chuck E. Cheese, and we would spend a lot of time and a lot of quarters playing this game. And it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. I always loved playing Wolverine. And this was also based on, like a pilot episode of an X-Men cartoon they tried to pitch, like, in maybe 1989 or 1990. And it was like Pride of the X-Men was what it was called. And it was kind of like this era of X-Men or whatever, but I always thought it was funny because Wolverine's supposed to be Canadian, and they gave him an Australian accent, so he's like, oh, crikey.
Yeah.
So he does not sound Canadian in that cartoon. He totally sounds Australian.
Yeah, maybe it was obviously because of Hugh Jackman. It was a precursor.
Maybe. Years later, I mean, Wolverine's supposed to be 5'3". Hugh Jackman's like 6 foot tall. Like, doesn't work.
Oh, so
Doesn't work.
yeah, 5'3". Oh, superb. So I'm just a new.
Hugh Jackman's like, he plays Wolverine as like the leader of the X-Men. Wolverine's not the leader of the X-Men. Wolverine is the psychopath they're trying to contain.
Yeah, the Deadpool of the X-Men.
Yeah, he's the misfit. That's why kids identified with Wolverine so much. Wolverine was the misfit member of the X-Men, and Wolverine just played by his own rules. And if he had to stab a motherfucker, he wasn't afraid to, you know.
Yeah. Happy there. So this arcade game itself, as you were saying, you'd play as Wolverine at it, and did you have your siblings with you, or your friends? And
yeah, maybe my brother would play, or my friends would hop in. You know, kids from my Cub Scout troop, because I was heavily involved in the Cub Scouts when I lived in California, and you know, I played soccer, or you know, football as it's known in the rest of the world. And you know, we'd have like parties after the soccer team won a match or something, and go over to Chuck E. Cheese and play some X-Men.
Superb. So some happy memories there for you. And,
Oh, definitely. Konami did a fantastic job with this one, and they also did a fantastic job with the Simpsons arcade game too, which was very similar.
Yeah.
Very, very similar.
Yeah. I mean, do you get access still to arcades over there? I mean, it's
no.
Yeah.
Is
it died?
Unfortunately, you know, what it's become is like there's like arcade bars, so if you want to go and have a drink at like a pub somewhere, they'll have arcade games in there, and like adults are into it, you know. Like kids don't like have that arcade culture, you know. It's all home gaming now.
Yeah.
So in growing up as a kid in the late 80s, early 90s in Southern California, like we had Street Fighter 2 was at a Pizza Hut, and my condominium complex I lived on was like a 6-lane road, like because traffic is nuts in Southern California, and it's even worse now than it was then. And you know, my parents forbid me from crossing El Toro Road. And that was where the Albertsons grocery store was, and we used to rent our video games and VHS movies from there, as well as get our groceries and things. But in that same plaza, was a Pizza Hut, and the Pizza Hut had an arcade in the back. And 2 of the games that I suggested to you, they had arcade cabinets of those games in that Pizza Hut.
Right.
So I would go over there and feel like a badass because I was disobeying my parents, and crossing El Toro Road. But I was also playing Street Fighter 2, and it was like the game just hooked me right off the bat. It was the most incredible game ever. Because when I was a kid, like the only fighting games we had were like Karate Champ for the NES, which was like terrible. I mean, I have like a soft spot for it, but that game is terrible. Let's be honest. Street Fighter 2 came out though, and it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. And I took a liking to Ryu. Ryu was my character that I played. Ryu, like, constantly.
Yeah.
And I got really good at Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Disobeying my parents, you know. There was also, like, a thing, like, we had a 7-Eleven convenience store. You guys have 7-Eleven in the UK?
No, not really. We just call them 24-hour.
Okay. So we had a 7-Eleven that was, like, nearby my school. Like, my school had a glen to, like, just to the south of it, and it was like just basically a huge hill that dipped into a glen, and like frickin' bobcats and shit and like snakes would be down there and shit. So you didn't go down there, but if you walked down the bridge down past the glen, there was a 7-Eleven convenience store, and we used to go there and you know, basically fuck the dog in the morning before school. And they had you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade unit in there. They had a Captain Commando arcade unit in there. They had a Pit Fighter at one point, and they also had a rack with comic books. You don't very rarely do you find comic books at like a convenience store nowadays. It's like a dying form. You got to go to a comic book store to buy comic books. But back then, you could buy them at the convenience store, and you know, you could get a Slurpee or whatever. But you know, I would spend my lunch money playing arcade games, and that's. From playing Street Fighter 2 and Sunset Riders, like at the Pizza Hut there, and disobeying my parents, and you know, additionally going to 7-Eleven in the morning and buying comic books and spending my lunch money playing arcade games, you know, there's like kind of like a seedy, kind of like you know, like dangerous thing about it, you know. And I was pretty good at like disobeying my parents and flying under the radar. I think it helped that I was like the youngest child of 3, and like, you know, I had like an older sister and an older brother that were like, and we're all 8 years apart, like basically, or 4 years apart apiece. So I got away with a lot of shit because I was the cute kid. So going to that Pizza Hut and playing Sunset Riders and Street Fighter was incredible. And Street Fighter 2 is like, that's one of my favorite games ever. Like, I've got multiple versions of it, but I gotta give a shout out to anybody that loves the Special Champion Edition for the Mega Drive. Like, that is where it's fucking at. Oh yeah, dude, it's hot, you know. That's a great port. I played the hell out of it in the arcade, and this, I think, captures the arcade like best for me, you know. Like, it hits home. I've got the SNES versions, but the Special Champion Edition, like, boom, that's the best. And then you were showing off Sunset Riders earlier. And I got to give a shout out to Top Hat Gaming Man, because he did a video like a while back on Sunset Riders, and I had shared like my experience playing this. Sunset Riders was the other arcade cabinet they had at that Pizza Hut that I was forbidden from crossing El Toro Road. And I used to play the hell out of Sunset Riders. And it was kind of tough times for my family after we moved from Southern California. We lived in Missouri for a year, which is like in the middle of the sticks. Like, terrible experience. And then we moved to New York, and it was just like total culture shock. But somewhere like in a thrift store when we moved to New York and I had a Mega Drive, I was able to get Sunset Riders, just the cartridge. And I would play it, and it just reminded me of, like, you know, like being back at that arcade in California and playing the arcade game, you know. So I lost the original Sunset Riders cartridge that I had, but since then, you know, as an adult, like, I have a real job and I don't have any children, so I can spend a little bit of money. But now I have the complete game.
Awesome.
With the cartridge, the case, the instruction manual. And I got it for a good deal. So I love Sunset Riders. This is one of my favorite run and guns. It's just phenomenal. And the Genesis port, I know people love the SNES port. The Genesis port, the Mega Drive port, is amazing. Like, don't even look past that. That's a great one.
Superb stuff. Yeah, please guys, just bear with me. I've just noticed that the same issue that the guys were having over the weekend with the chat is happening to me. So for some reason it's struggling to keep up. I've just noticed that. It's just all of a sudden it'll probably pick back up. I'm just going to have a quick look at it, see if I can... no. See if I can do anything with it. Let's have a look. Source. It might start coming through again eventually. Yeah, but yeah, it's everybody's been having this problem with YouTube, I've noticed. Well, not to worry, not to worry, not to worry. Now then, what I'd like to move on to next is let's have a look. I've forgotten now. What am I doing? Oh, television, that was it. We're going to move on to the big screen as such, the TV, and now there's some here that obviously we're going to know in the UK, and there's some here that are just unforgivable. So what I shall do is I shall play your first choice. Now,
all right, yeah, let me get the volume on my television.
Yeah, that should be coming up soon. And the only thing I can say to this is explain yourself. Looks like you're... There we go. Now, to us, Brits, we look at this and it explains a lot about Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
We're
God.
freaks.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
I'll let it play in the background. But what the hell is going on with this? Oh my!
Are you guys familiar with Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens?
No, not really. There was a couple of movies I believe that he did, but that we might have seen.
Yeah, Paul Rubens was an American comedian, and he had this kind of persona that he had, Pee Wee Herman, which was basically like this adult that hadn't escaped childhood, kind of like a Peter Pan type of character, but just kind of a little more eccentric and just kind of interesting, to describe him as a character, just a man-child, which I think that we could probably identify with as adults that are into retro gaming and things,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to meet this character in a dark arcade at any time soon. I have to.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Tim Burton made a couple of Pee Wee Herman movies, and they were fantastic. Pee Wee's Big Adventure and the Big Top Pee Wee. And that was before he did the Batman flicks. So there is kind of this weird dark vibe to those movies, but what it is this is just a children's show. And he's got all these crazy characters. He had fucking Cowboy Curtis played by Lawrence Fishburne. Do you guys know Lawrence Fishburne at all?
Yes, definitely.
He was in
The Matrix.
freaking Boys in the Hood. He was the dad in Boys in the Hood. He's in The Matrix.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was Cowboy Curtis in the show. And he was like a 1950s American cowboy, like an American cowboy in that 1950s style, but he had a Jerry curl mullet. And he used to pop in and have a good have a good laugh with Pee Wee. And Pee Wee also had a cast of people. He had Miss Yvonne used to come on and chat with him, and she was an older voluptuous woman, which hey, that's fine. Then he had Jambi the Genie, who used to predict things for him, and he used to say "Micka licka 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 hiney hey, Micka licka 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 hiney ho," and it's some oddball shit that only kids would get, maybe parents might get it to a certain degree, but it's just so out there. And this was before Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead and shit like that, So this was kind of groundbreaking, And he had like a couple of anthropomorphic like furniture pieces, like Cherry was one of them. It was like basically a female recliner that used to talk to him, and he would sit in the female recliner, you know. And then Globy, which was like a globe, like an anthropomorphic globe that would talk to him and things. And then there were a couple of things with the show. He had like the word of the day, and if it was like established that this particular word was the word of the day, and it was said during the show, everybody would have to scream, go, ah! You know? So later on, like when I was in my 20s, I'd go over to my friend's house, and we had these epic like house parties. And like one night we had like a word of the day night, and we're like, the word of the day is iced leprosy, which is like the randomest shit ever. But for some reason, everybody would figure out to say iced leprosy, and then everybody go, ah! You know, after somebody said iced leprosy. So it kind of stuck around in adulthood, and it was funny, you know. And then like he also had like he had a tinfoil ball where he was just taking discarded tinfoil and recycling it by rolling it up into a ball. And this ball was gigantic. It was a fucking boulder, you know? Like, and it was just rolling out, and it was a tinfoil boulder that was just rolling through his house. It was like the most absurd shit, you know? And I would watch it right after Muppet Babies at like 7:30 in the morning on CBS. You know, you'd start the rounds watching Bozo at 6 a.m., and then Thundercats at 6:30. And then you'd switch over to CBS, watch Muppet Babies, and then Pee-wee's Playhouse. And then later on they had Ernest, played by Jim Varney.
Yeah.
Which I gotta give it. I can't remember. Well, I think it might have been Arnie Viking. And I were joking about that picture of you, Yellowbelly, that was on Zypho's stream the other night.
Yes.
Your hair is a little shorter, and you're wearing a ball cap.
Yeah.
And you look like fucking Jim Varney in that photo.
Yes, I've heard that a couple of times now. With that one, I was supposed to be making a face.
And then the photo where you have a sword, you look like fucking Kronos from Venom. You're into Venom at all?
Oh, Venom, yeah.
Yeah, you look like fucking Kronos from Venom.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was my thumbnail on my early videos, and Zypho put it on.
That is the most metal shit ever.
Oh well, you saw last night. I pulled my sword out. You know, I have been known to pull my sword out quite randomly. In fact,
you're sitting there like flossing your teeth with the edge of your sword.
Yeah.
My brother had a sword that was like I don't know what the hell it was, but it had like the fist part, so you could punch somebody with it, and it's a very big broadsword, and I used to call it Skull Splitter.
Yeah. I always have a sword handy. I just like to be prepared for obviously the zombie apocalypse. You know.
Oh no, you're prepared for the quickening.
Yeah.
Just in case somebody wants to lob your head off. You know, you want to be one of the immortals that sticks around.
Well, this is it. You've got to always have it. I mean, I have this next to my bed at all times because you never know when you have to jump up and stab the wife or something.
Oh yeah, that's basically it. If Sean Connery shows up, and be like, "There could be only one," and you've got a sword.
Yeah. Again, sorry about the chat glitching, guys. It's YouTube. It's not me. Right, let's have a look at another Detective Comics issue 1, do you?
No, I wish. That would be before Batman, because Batman didn't appear in Detective Comics 1. He appeared in number 27.
Oh, we're showing...
But right here...
Right, there we go. Big screen. There we go. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so we have a Raphael action figure. Unfortunately, I lost his belt over the years. He's a little scuzzy. But... This is a toy that I had as a kid, like probably from like 1991 or 1992. What it was there was like my father worked for the Orange County Fire Department in California as a cartographer, and he also did graphic art for them. And they used to have an annual benefit like American Football Bowl that was between the Orange County Fire Department and the Orange County Sheriff Department. And somehow they were able to get a license to use the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to raise toward charity. And Playmates was the company that produced all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures. And they made these, I don't know if that's like 12 or 14 inch, I think. but these big ass Ninja Turtles, like doll action figures, you know. And the kids down the street, the Beemans, their father worked for the sheriff department. My father worked for the fire department. The Beeman kids got Leonardo and Donatello, and my brother and I got Raphael and Michelangelo. Michelangelo I still have, but it's actually at a friend of mine's house that I used to play in a band with. And it was the mascot for our recording. We were in a band called the Lewd Dudes. And we had a recording that we started in 2012 that just needs vocals set down and it needs to be mixed and mastered. But Michelangelo is sitting at my man Toothy, a.k.a. Mark Smith, his house right now. And eventually I would love to claim that back once we finish that recording. But I still have Raphael right here with me. And Raphael is chilling, and he hangs out in my living room. And this is a big deal. This is like one of the only toy that like really survived all these years. And I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I tease my wife with this thing, like you know, the if you look, they've only got 2 fingers or 3 fingers. Okay, so my wife and I have this thing when I do this, and I grip things, and I like you know, touch her or whatever. We call them party hands.
Yeah. Let's keep the bedroom.
Kind of like Live Long and Prosper with the Vulcans, but no, it's party hands.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
We play around with that, and I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're the quintessential like wacky postmodern shit you see in the late 80s and early 90s, you know?
Yeah. There's that's great that you've actually still got your original toy. I mean,
that's the one toy. Like I was telling you about like Tech Shield Batman earlier. I actually found a figurine that's complete, just not in the box, for like $20 on eBay, and I got it, you know?
Awesome.
You know, most of my Batman action figures, you know, I still collect shit that I find just like randomly, you know. We would go to the dollar store and, you know, there's Batman right there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that Batman action figure. And then you know, here's the Joker. Mattel made these. You know, like Two-Face. Yeah. And I got these for maybe like, you know, $6 or $7, and I just held on to them, you know. You didn't do that when you were a kid. You played the fuck out of those things, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and then my mother's husband got me this Batman Arkham. Kind of reminds me of the NES Batman, like with the color scheme and everything. This is detective mode Batman, but he's damn cool, you know. Yeah. And I'm a huge Batman nerd. I go absolutely apeshit for Batman. Like, just maybe a few months ago, I picked this guy up. McFarlane Toys did a Batman the Animated Series action figure. You know, like, he's cool. Looks like the Bruce Timm action figure, just like the other ones. I love Batman the Animated Series, which I think is our segue into our next spot.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It was fantastic. You can't fuck with this. It's just, this is like the Batman mythos, like as I see it, you know. With like, you know, like some nods to the comic books I was reading at the time.
Yeah. We got this in the UK, and I remember it being on, thinking, wow, this is cool, because it's got the darkness.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and it's kind of like it's like retrofuturism, but it's weird because it has like this 1940s sort of setting, but then they have computers and things like that in that, you know, and it's like, what the hell, you know? It's just like this cool, like, it seems like 1940s sci-fi, you know. It's out there, you know, and it brings Batman to the detective roots, because Batman is he's a continuation of like the Sherlock Holmes character, you know, like Sherlock Holmes mixed with Zorro, and that's how you get Batman.
Yeah. It was obviously, I mean, I was brought up on the '60s show, but this was a different ball game. It really.
Well, the '60s show we got syndicated as a kid, and after the 1989 movie, they started syndicating it heavily. and I watched the fuck out of Batman, the 1960s television show. As you can see, I have the box set right here with the entire series.
Yeah.
Like, fantastic shit, you know, all 3 seasons.
Mm.
And I love the hell out of this show. I don't care how campy it is.
Yeah.
It is awesome. It is a blast.
Yeah.
You have a fun time. It's great drinking, too. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that you could just pull off with that. But, you know, the animated series, like, I was a kid when this was coming out. So I have season 1 of the animated series on DVD right here.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
And just in case I ever lose internet access and I have a DVD player, I could play this son of a bitch. So I love it. This was the shit in 1992. It was awesome. It really tapped into like the atmosphere and the mythos of Batman perfectly.
Yeah, I mean the '60s show for me, as good as Jack Nicholson was and the further actors, Caesar Romero was always my Joker.
Yep, he was a great Joker too.
Yeah,
even with the painted over mustache and everything, he was a great Joker.
Yeah, he was amazing.
And if you look up above me in the camera there, you could see like I placed all my Batman, like not all my Batman video games, but a select amount of them. You know, I'm a huge Batman nut. Like I go absolutely apeshit for Batman. Like the comic books, the movies, everything, you know. Like I go nuts for this stuff. Like back there you see like Batman, the video game for NES and the Mega Drive. You see Batman Returns for the Master System, which I absolutely love. Sypho, if you ever want to stream that, I would love to see that. You have Batman Returns for the Genesis, which is not so good. Then you have the Konami beat 'em up on the SNES, which is awesome. And then the Adventures of Batman and Robin to the far right there. That was kind of like loosely based on the animated series. And they're 2 different games. The Mega Drive game is like a run and gun game, whereas like the Konami SNES game was more like a action platformer, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Cool stuff, matey. Radio. What I'd like to move on to now is music.
Music.
Yeah, music. You mentioned before Faith No More was a big influence on you.
Huge. Absolutely huge. I had gotten into rock music. Prior to getting into rock music, I was kind of into like, you know, pop stuff and like rap and R&B. Yeah. You know, MC Hammer was the shit. Paula Abdul and Janet Jackson were the shit. But a friend of mine had got me into Guns N' Roses. Mm-hmm. So I got in Guns N' Roses in like 1991 or whatever. Appetite for Destruction and Use Your Illusion 1 were the two albums I got.
Yeah.
And they blew my mind. I wanted to play guitar right off the bat there, you know. And then, you know, Metallica kind of hit big with the Black Album. But at that time, Faith No More were kind of like the underdog, kind of like hot in the U.S., but more hot in the U.K., I know that for sure. So my parents had signed up for Columbia House. Did you guys have Columbia House in the UK?
No, not at all, no.
What it was like kind of like this music club thing where you could order nine CDs for a penny, but you had to purchase a certain amount of CDs over the course of like a 2-year subscription. Okay? So they had all these, well, what the heck do we want? I want Faith No More. I want Faith No More. I want Faith No More. So my parents got me the real thing from Faith No More on CD via their Columbia House like subscription for a penny.
Yeah. And
I fell in love with it. It was phenomenal. It made me want to play guitar. It made me want to be a singer, you know. It was just postmodern, like punk, funk metal, you know. Like they were doing their own thing, and it was like totally different from everything else, you know. And it was heavy, it was melodic, it was eclectic, and it was like a perfect marriage, like a perfect segue from like MC Hammer to Metallica, you know. So I got really into it, you know. The song Epic played on the radio like all the time, and then the follow-up single Falling to Pieces, which to kind of show off more of my wares. the biggest Faith No More fan. This is like barely a speck of my collection, you know. I have like all the records on LP. They're hugely influential on me. So there's the real thing on cassette tape right there. I have that as well. And, you know, it comes with a cool blue kind of tag in the cassette. And then we have the vinyl LP right here.
Wow, yeah.
And, you know, you can see the portrait of the band on the back.
Oh, yeah.
I also have the Live at the Brixton Academy on LP and on CD as well. But, you know, the real thing was where it was at. The song, The Real Thing, you know, it's like an 8-minute song. They do a fucking brilliant cover of Black Sabbath's War Pigs on it. It just blows your fucking mind. Like, it's so good. It's dare I say it's better than the original, you know? And that's tough shoes to fill because the Sabbath War Pigs is, like, incredible, you know?
Yeah.
But that was how I first heard War Pigs as a kid. So this is a Slash Reprise Records release right here. I have some import records that came in from the UK because I know that Faith No More was signed to London Records in the UK.
Yeah.
And I know that Faith No More was very popular in the UK.
Mm.
And when their popularity was waning in the US, and they continue to be popular in the UK and in Australia, they were definitely like international, like road fucking warriors. You know, they toured all over the place. You know, and then I have the single for Epic on 7-inch vinyl. Epic backed with The Morning After. I don't know. This is just black vinyl on Slash. Pretty cool though, you know. I also have a picture disc of the From Out of Nowhere single. I don't want to go too crazy into going over my Faith No More collection. It's pretty prolific, man. Like, I love Faith No More. They're the metal band that I got into, you know.
Yeah.
And then Falling to Pieces. This one I think is interesting. I love the fact that Mike Patton's wearing a Godflesh shirt. For all you Brits out there that know Godflesh,
Yeah.
horns up to you. Any of you guys that are into Godflesh and any of that earache record stuff like Napalm Death and Carcass, horns up to you guys. But yeah, this one's like it's a 45. It's Falling to Pieces, and then it's a couple of tracks recorded at Brixton on the B side right there. But yeah, Faith No More, just I followed them for years, and I was too young to see them during their heyday, so my wife and I got tickets to go see them in Philadelphia in 2015, and it was just mind blowing. It was awesome. I loved it. It was awesome.
Superb stuff. So, yeah, Faith No More. Who else was on your list? Let's have a look. Judas Priest.
Judas Priest, okay. Painkiller. Here's the remastered disc of it. That's what I have. When I was a kid, I used to go to a summer camp in the summer of 1992. And there was an older kid. I was like 9 going on 10 years old, and I just started getting into metal and stuff like that. And at a young age that I probably shouldn't have been getting into that stuff, but I did. There's an older kid named Matt, and he was probably like 12 or 13, but you know, he's the first kid with the skater cut with the shaved head and the bangs, and he was real into Metallica. And I used to skip summer camp and go back to his house and listen to like the old Metallica records from like, you know, when they were a thrash metal band. And we had a field trip to the public library, and he had suggested to me that I should steal an Alice in Chains cassette tape and a Judas Priest CD. So I managed to sneak it through the magnetic alarm and get away with it. And I got a copy of Alice in Chains' Facelift on tape, but I also got Judas Priest Painkiller. And Judas Priest has been a band that's been around since the early 70s, you know, so they have a long history.
Yeah.
But when they put out this fucking record, they were like, fuck you, we're going to destroy everything in our path. You know? Like Painkiller. Like, starts off with the double bass. Faster than a bullet, terrifying scream. Charge it for the mega is the Fallon Huff machine. Like, oh, that falsetto vocal with those like raging thrashy guitars, and then like K.K. Downing and Glenn Tipton could play guitar like phenomenally prior to this, but they were still getting better.
Yeah.
These guys were like sweet picking and doing like Yngwie Malmsteen shit on this record.
Yeah.
You know, and like Metal Meltdown. Twisting a strangle grip won't give no mercy. Feeling those tendons rip torn up in me. Damn, oh man. And it starts off with this just sweet pick guitar. So, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it was like the heaviest shit. And it stuck with me for so many years. Like, even when I was like, yeah, I'm into punk rock. No. Fucking Judas Priest Painkiller. It's like, it was like the record that was totally uncool to like, yeah, whatever, Judas Priest. Then over the years, people started listening to it, and now it's like hip and trendy to know this record. And fucking A, man. Like, this record fucking blew my mind. So eventually, the stolen copy, I felt guilty about it, and I took it back to the library and put it in the Dropbox with the Alice in Chains disc. Or the Alice in Chains tape. And it's still stuck with me through the years. So when I, became an adult and I had my own income, I purchased a copy of it again and played the fuck out of it. So
I just had this vision, if anybody just tuned in with you going, blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
They're going,
They might
fuck, you
lose
know,
their
what's this going on? Yeah. And
Right.
again, the Pee Wee Herman sort of explains it all.
Yeah, I'm a little out there, man. I'm a little bonkers. I'm a little,
Oh, happy days, happy days. Right, guys, sorry
I try to
about
be a character.
Yeah, again, sorry about the chat. It has been going bananas, the chat on YouTube for some reason.
I've seen it scrolling by really quick and then scrolling by slow, so.
Yeah, so I switched it off for a bit and now switched it on. It seems to be a little bit. Manshovel woke my neighbours.
All right, I got one more record in me before I have to go like take a fucking slash. So
Yeah.
let me talk about this real quick. If you wanted to cue it up,
What's that?
Den Hog said that I woke his neighbors. That's hilarious. So, Black Flag, Damaged. This is a slab of beautiful American fucking Southern California hardcore punk. The lyrics are extremely nihilistic. I can't remember what it was, but like I think the PMRC determined that this was like an extremely anti-parent record. Good. Rock and roll is supposed to piss off your parents.
Yeah.
So, I got this when I was 14. My father lived in Missouri, or he actually lived in Arkansas at the time, and I was visiting him from the summer. My brother had just graduated high school, and I was just entering high school at the time. It was like 1997. So there was a skate shop at the local shopping mall that my father took me into because my father, he's a pretty hip guy for his age. So I saw they had a Black Flag CD for sale of Damaged, and I wanted it. And it's actually this fucking CD right here. And I don't own the case to it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Black Flag Damaged. Like, you could probably see how scratched the disc is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I bought this in 1997, so this is 23 years old, But yeah, I mean, the lyrics are so brutal and dark. They really fit that angst that you're feeling when you're a young teenager, Like, oh my God, like I'm growing into an adult and I'm just realizing that adults are completely full of shit. So that's where it was at, spray paint the walls. I don't want to see their plan succeed. There won't be room for people like me. My life is their disease. It feels good and I want to go wild. Spray paint the walls. Like, fuck. Let me see. Earth's a padded cell, defanged and declawed. I'm living in a hell, it's a paradise fraud. Straight jacket minds in line to get old. Can't get what I want, so I let it slip through my teeth. Maniacs. Yeah. Just dark, heavy shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, they had, like, their guitar player, Greg Ginn, would, like, play these out-of-key solos. It was, like, almost like fucking jazz, you know? It was that fucked up. And they're playing hardcore punk, you know? It's just aggressive, pissed-off shit, you know? And it really fucking... I mean, you look at this record cover. There's the singer Henry Rollins just punching a fucking mirror.
Yeah.
That's how I felt at 14 years old.
Such an angry child.
It changed my fucking life. Yeah, it changed my fucking life. You know?
Yeah.
And then later that year, I got Black Flag's The First 4 Years, which is all the shit that they recorded in the 70s with their original 3 singers. And, you know, it's just hard, abrasive, hardcore punk with nihilistic fucking lyrics and just fucking pissed off, frenetic energy. And it changed my life. I wanted to play in a punk rock band after that, like, instantly, you know?
No problem. Oh, right. What I will cover next is your own band. You are...
Give me one hot second so I can go take a slash,
right.
And I will be right back to plug pissing match. So everybody sit tight. Thank you all for participating, and I will be right back.
All right. Go for it. Right. So, again, guys, I apologize. The chat has been going absolutely crazy. It's not me. It's YouTube themselves. They did it on Novabook's stream. They did it on Zypho's stream. It's been absolutely mental. But yeah, hopefully it'll sort itself out for the next stream. Yeah, we're pretty much close to closing now. I just want to, yeah, we can just chat shite anyway. I agree. Yeah, his band is bloody brilliant. Yes, I will play a clip of the music when he comes back, and then he can plug it away. Yeah, lots of GNR and Slash tonight. Yeah, yeah, it's been very, 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 very. Yeah, see, it's going round again. Yeah, it keeps. Yeah, the chat keeps going round and round and round in circles. God, yeah, I can't find the bit of that song that goes. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to clip that. While he's not on camera and listening, I'm gonna have to clip that. That'd be awesome. I think I can hear him coming back in a minute. But yeah, it's been a fun night. I haven't stopped laughing, which is cool. Absolutely. Yeah, Mike. Happy days. But yeah, I do apologise for the chat going apeshit. I did eventually just decide to switch it off. While waiting, it gives me a chance to let you know I will not be streaming next Sunday. I have to work next Sunday. So yeah, it's the drum solo. Yeah, what a legend. He is a legend, isn't he? Yeah, it's spinning me around like a record. Yeah. So we will next week, Texie, if you're around, feel free to take my spot. Yeah, the chat is still going, but what it's doing is looping.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's going crazy. Now then, let's get on to the old full screen again. Now I'm going to play a clip from your band, and here we go.
I wonder what it's fucking like. A pretty house for your pretty wife, your fearing children to stay in line. Neighborhood function, sneaking on the strike. Bullshit's mine, and turning line. Blasting people on the sunny sky. You left a million lives. So now you left a million lives. So now you left a million fucking life to say. I know you got secrets that would blow my mind. My man gets the chisel hates your life.
It's not good enough for them.
Yeah, let me hit the mute button on my television again. Yeah, so that's a song off of our new record. It's called Civilian Life, and our new record is called Crossing Streams. Because that's what you guys do when you take a piss, right? You cross streams. Oh, exactly. So, yeah, that's our second record. It's there's a 50 copy like limited edition lathe cut that we had pre-orders for that sold out earlier this month. So we're pretty excited about that. They went up on like December 31st. But yeah, it's 23 songs on a double lathe cut that are one-sided a piece. And the one record is clear and it has a screen print of like piss splatter behind it. And then the other one is black and it's square. And then there's 25 of those and then another 25 of the round records. So we're pretty excited about it. You know, we fit 23 songs like on an EP. Our first record is Break the Seal. That's a 7-inch 45 record with 16 songs on it. You know, in case you figured out, we play very fast, aggressive, like hardcore punk with like the songs like usually about 20-30 seconds a piece. You know, we also put it out on CD and we put it out on Amstrad. There's a Pissing Match Break the Seal available for the CPC 464 right here. See? So, and then there's the test press of our first record. And yeah, we're pretty excited about it. You know, the pandemic kind of put a damper on all sorts of shit, you know? So that kind of sucked. But, you know, what are you going to do about it?
What do you actually play in the band?
I play guitar and I sing the kind of the backing vocals. Originally the band was like a solo project, and I recorded a demo where I like played all the instruments on it and wrote all the songs and the lyrics. And then I kind of assembled the band after the demo, and then we recorded the first 7-inch and started playing shows and just kind of picked up from there. And I picked like, you know, the most talented guys that I knew that, you know, were lifers in the punk scene, the guys that were like 10 years older than me, you know, and it kind of worked out. So we've been playing ever since, you know. Hopefully we could play shows again soon, but, you know, in the meantime, you know, we put out the record and we played a live stream back in November. Hopefully if we get the pandemic under control, we could see each other again and maybe start working on a new record too. So
yeah, that'd be good.
You know,
that'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
this is the band that I'm super into playing in. So I'm all about it.
As long as you're enjoying it, mate, that's the most important part. That's the most important part, as long as you're enjoying it. Now, I've had to switch the chat off again because it started going apeshit again. Rightio, sir. So, we are at the end of your Retro Recollections. Big thank you for joining me. Is your other half there?
Jessica, can you come here?
Yeah.
Swap seats. She might need an earbud.
Say hi.
No,
This is Jessica.
Hi, who am I saying hi to? Hello.
Saying hi to Yellowbelly and the whole Amstrad streaming community.
Hello, Yellowbelly. Hey,
This
guys.
is Jessica, who was in the chat earlier.
Hi, Jessica. Oh, it's great
My
to see
lovely
you.
wife, my better half.
Yeah, they're always better. What I will ask you is
for the rum drinker.
what I will ask is, do you have you downloaded an emulator for Amstrad games for your wife?
I have a Raspberry Pi I just recently purchased. I got it for really cheap on eBay, and I was excited about it. I spent like $60 on it, and then I got a new case for it. It has some Amstrad games on it. However, I can't boot any of them up without a keyboard. So I have a keyboard arriving either today or tomorrow, along with a new joystick, like a fighter joystick. I think Zypho has the same like joystick. It's like the BXN or something like that. It's like a Chinese entry-level fighter joystick for $40. So I got that, and I got a keyboard, so maybe I might be able to start playing Amstrad games. The next step is probably to find Amstrad games and add them to my SD card. And then, I might be able to do stuff like play the Abduction of Oscar Zed.
Yeah.
And, Alcon 2020. Those would be fantastic games to play.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Everybody was saying in the chat was saying hello to your Jess, by the way. Radio. So there we go, mate. I'm sure the community, all you have to do is ask, mate. We will. Oh, God, it's going apeshit again. The community will certainly. Let me switch it off because it's distracting. Will certainly support you. If you want any games and stuff like that, just send me a message on Discord, mate. I've got them all.
I'd love to take you guys' suggestions because you have been playing the games for, 30, 40 years now. So, hey, the best games right there. So I know that, quantity isn't exactly quality. So, I know that there's fantastic games on the Amstrad. It's the same thing with the NES, though. We got shit games on the NES, and I have quite a few of them myself. So, take your suggestions. You guys point me in the right direction, and I'm looking forward to playing some Amstrad games via emulation. Until I could get myself a CPC. I might get the Canadian Ferguson if I can find one, but we'll see.
Awesome stuff. Rightio, so there we go. We are at the end, folks. So a big thanks to Manshovel and a big thanks to everybody in the chat for putting up with our antics and putting up with the stupid YouTube chat box, which has been driving me nuts all night. Oh, go ahead.
I want to thank you, Yellowbelly, for having me on, and thank Andrea for doing all the research and pulling up the images and things. And thanks to the Bug Army and the Zypho and the Puglians for cultivating an awesome community that I'm happy to be a part of.
Well, yeah, welcome to the community. It's great to have you in. You've very quickly become a very strong part of it. So I'll let you know that we do appreciate you, sir.
Cheers.
So. Okay, so folks, as I said, I will not be streaming next week because I have to work. Again, Texie, if you want to take my slot. Pete, if you're still with us, do the honours of the link for Mikey. I did run over time, but who cares? But yeah, and big thanks to you all. And all it leaves is me to say goodbye and Yellowbelly out.